The South China Sea, a critical region known for its rich resources and strategic shipping lanes, has become a hot of tension between the United States and China. But why do United States aircraft carriers seem to avoid passing through these contested waters? In today's video, we'll explore the intricate dynamics that influence United States naval operations in the South China Sea, focusing on geopolitical, military, and diplomatic considerations. Stay tuned. Understanding the South China Sea. The South China Sea is one of the world's busiest maritime regions, with over $3 trillion worth of trade passing through it annually. It hosts vital shipping lanes that are essential for global commerce, not just for the countries in the region, but for economies worldwide. This area is bordered by several nations, including China, Vietnam, the Philippines, and Malaysia, each asserting territorial claims based on historical rights, economic interests, and strategic considerations. China has particularly aggressive claims in the region, bolstered by the construction of artificial islands and military installations. These actions have alarmed other nations and prompted the United States to respond with increased naval presence. The South China Sea is not just a geographical point on the map, it is a flashpoint for international tensions, with far-reaching implications for global trade and security. United States naval strategy in the region. The United States Navy's aircraft carriers are pivotal assets designed for power projection and crisis response. These floating airbases enable the United States to deploy military force rapidly and showcase its global reach. However, the strategic use of these carriers in the South China Sea is approached with caution. United States naval strategy prioritizes maintaining a balance of power in the region, ensuring that no single nation, particularly China, can dominate the maritime environment. Aircraft carriers serve as a deterrent against aggression, but their presence also requires careful consideration of the potential repercussions. Directly sailing through contested waters may provoke China and escalate tensions, making United States commanders cautious about deploying carriers in this volatile area. The risk of escalation. Navigating the South China Sea is fraught with risk. An aircraft carrier passing close to Chinese-held islands might be interpreted as a challenge to Chinese sovereignty, leading to heightened military readiness and potential confrontations. The stakes are high. A miscalculation during such encounters could spiral into a broader conflict. Close encounters between United States and Chinese naval vessels are not uncommon. These incidents can lead to dangerous situations where both sides feel compelled to respond to perceived threats. The United States military is well aware of these risks, and thus, commanders must weigh the need to assert freedom of navigation against the potential for conflict escalation. International law and freedom of navigation. International law, particularly the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, UNCLOS, outlines the rights and responsibilities of nations concerning maritime boundaries and navigation. The United States strongly supports the principle of freedom of navigation, advocating that international waters should remain open to all vessels, regardless of territorial claims. However, China's increasing assertiveness in enforcing its claims complicates matters. The United States conducts freedom of navigation operations, FONOPs, to challenge excessive claims by China. The presence of an aircraft carrier during these operations is often viewed as a significant escalation, which may prompt a stronger response from China compared to smaller naval vessels. Diplomatic considerations. Diplomacy is a crucial aspect of United States military strategy. While showcasing strength is vital, the United States must also navigate complex diplomatic relationships with regional allies and partners. Countries like the Philippines, Vietnam, and Malaysia have varying degrees of relations with both the United States and China. An aircraft carrier's presence can signal strong support for allies, but can also provoke backlash from China, complicating United States diplomatic efforts. This delicate balancing act often leads the United States to adopt a more cautious approach, utilizing other naval assets to operate in the region while minimizing the risks associated with deploying aircraft carriers directly. Regional reactions and impacts. The reactions of regional nations to United States naval operations are mixed. On one hand, countries like the Philippines and Vietnam generally welcome the United States' presence as a counterbalance to Chinese expansion. They see the United States as a stabilizing force that can help protect their interests. On the other hand, these nations are cautious, understanding that increased United States military presence may provoke China, potentially leading to regional instability. The response from China to United States naval activities can vary from diplomatic protests to military posturing. China may conduct its own military drills in response or increase its naval presence, heightening tensions further. Thus, the United States must carefully consider how its actions are perceived by both allies and adversaries alike. Historical context of tensions. To understand why United States aircraft carriers are cautious in the South China Sea, we must delve into the historical context. The region has a long history of maritime disputes, with China asserting claims based on historical maps and documents. These claims often conflict with those of neighboring countries in international maritime laws. Incidents like the 2012 Scarborough Shoal standoff and the 2016 ruling by an international tribunal favoring the Philippines against China have exacerbated tensions. The United States has historically positioned itself as a defender of international norms, but the evolving situation in the South China Sea requires a nuanced approach that takes into account both historical grievances and contemporary geopolitical realities. The role of technology in naval operations. Modern military technology has transformed naval operations, introducing new complexities to the dynamics in the South China Sea. The advancement of surveillance systems, missile technology, and cyber capabilities means that military engagements can escalate rapidly. China's growing anti-access/area denial, (A2/AD) capabilities pose significant challenges to United States aircraft carriers. These systems are designed to deter enemy forces from entering specific areas, making the waters around China increasingly perilous for large vessels like aircraft carriers. As such, the United States Navy must adapt its strategies to navigate these new realities effectively. Future considerations for United States naval strategy. Looking to the future, the question remains, how will the United States navigate the complex landscape of the South China Sea? The United States Navy is likely to continue employing a mix of strategies, including increased naval exercises with allies and more frequent FONOPs, using smaller vessels to assert navigation rights. Diplomatic engagement with China will also be critical. Establishing communication protocols for military encounters can help prevent misunderstandings and reduce the risk of unintended escalations. Additionally, fostering multilateral cooperation with regional partners can create a unified front that promotes stability in the region. Conclusion. In conclusion, the hesitance of United States aircraft carriers to pass through the South China Sea is rooted in a complex interplay of geopolitical, military, and diplomatic factors. The region's strategic importance, combined with China's assertive posture, creates a challenging environment for United States naval operations. As global powers continue to assert their interests, the importance of diplomacy, communication, and strategic planning cannot be overstated. The world is watching closely as the United States and China shape the future of the South China Sea. Thank you for joining us today in exploring the reasons behind the cautious approach of United States aircraft carriers in the South China Sea. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more insights into international relations and military affairs.